Hello, everyone. We're about to go live on Insight Timer. So I invite you to come over to Insight Timer and be with us. Hmm. Hmm. Hi, everyone. Welcome. I'm going to close this window a little bit. How are you, my dearest? It's so great to see you. Andy, Valerie, Anami. I can't see all of your... Hi, Valerie. All of your pictures. Hi, Liz. I can see some of them, though. Welcome, friends. We'll begin in a few moments. Hi, John. Sunny Michigan. Wonderful. Hey, Mo. Hi, Swiss. Our Swiss Insight Timer family. Hi, Judy. Welcome. Feel free to say hi if you haven't already. It's always nice to have a sense of all being together. All right. How is our sound? Sweet, sweet souls. Can you hear me well? How's the connection for you? It says it's excellent on my end, so hopefully it's excellent on yours also. Hi, Marjan. Yes, yes, it is very late. Midnight, probably where you are. So yes, close the eyes and just enjoy this energy of being together in this Shakti. Hi, Patty. Hey, Andy. Hi, Nicole. Welcome. Oh, you can't hear or see. Okay, Nicole says she can't hear or see. So that's let's send her a little message since she can't see either. Hopefully that helps, Nicole. Hey, Jeanette. Hi, Nicole. Great to see you. Thanks for being here. Ooh, Jeanette's camping. What a treat. Beautiful. All right. Let's begin our time together. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And as a reminder, if you have a device that allows you to see the widescreen view, I always have that view on so you can see the flowers I have here for us and the nice sacred earth background we have there. So if you can have the wide view, go for it. And if you can't, of course, you just get me up close and personal. Welcome, welcome. I welcome you in the tenderness of my heart, the tenderness of love. Hi, Maureen. Nicole, did you make it back in? Are you able to hear and see now? Are you able to fix that issue? I hope. For anyone that I'm getting to meet for the first time, my name is Selena Lael, and I'm so grateful to be together. I had a beautiful opportunity yesterday. I lead in-person meditation on the beach once a week here. And I had this beautiful exchange with just the sweetest soul, where she allowed me to sit with her in a moment where a lot of tenderness and pain was coming up. And it is such an honor to it's an honor to sit with her in that way, and to be able to be that presence and in that kind of intimacy with another. And I was really just feeling how that is what makes my entire life worth living. Those moments, the moments where I just get to be fully in that space of loving service. That's it. And I feel unbounded gratitude for each of you, because you give my soul a space to serve in this world that hasn't been very supportive of the soul, right? For millennia, it hasn't really been about soul, it's been about everything else. And that's okay. We're here for experience. But we are moving into this time on the planet more and more, this time of transformation and of light and unity. And to have the gift of being able to live in this world as soul and to serve as soul is the greatest. It's just beyond. I don't even have a word to describe it or to name it. In Sanskrit, we call it dharma, this truth, this embodiment of why I was born: to love, to serve, to remember. And each of you in our community give me an opportunity to love and serve and remember. So I have infinite, infinite gratitude to you, infinite, deepest gratitude. And thank you to our sweet, sweet, my sweet friend who I shared that experience with yesterday, because she's here with us today. And it's so precious to be together, as it is so precious for me to be with each and every one of you. And I know some of you uh, have an experience of, who is this woman and how can she say that she loves me? How can she speak to me as if she knows me, right? She doesn't see my picture. She doesn't maybe even know that I'm in the session. Maybe I haven't even said anything in the chat. How can she say she loves me? And yet we're here, aren't we? And maybe you've even returned. Maybe this isn't your first time being here, but you've chosen to be here again, even though you have this thought in your mind that says, she doesn't know me. How could she love me? But you're here because there's something inside, something that feels deeper, beyond the intellect and skepticism and the mind's patterns of protection. We are love itself. We are life itself. And satsang, this is a satsang. Satsang, gathering of truth. This gathering where we come together as community in our individuality and also in our oneness, to be together, to explore this path of awakening. Maybe today you're in a cycle in the path where you just feel the darkness. Maybe today you're in a cycle in the path, part of the cycle where you feel tremendous light or freedom. All of it is welcome here. You know why it's so important to have a space where it's all welcome? Because it's all here. It all exists. It's all here. So us denying that it's here doesn't make it go away. It doesn't fix the issue. It doesn't make us happy all of the time to deny that there's suffering. It just represses and causes discord inside. So we need a space, or maybe many spaces, most importantly within our own self, where we can say, I welcome it all because it's here. It's here. The pain, the joy, the confusion, the exhaustion, the anger, the shame, the anxiousness, it's all in the experience. So we welcome it. We welcome it. We give it space. And for some of us that feels counterintuitive, right? Well, if I want to feel peaceful, if I want to feel happy, then I need to get rid of these bad feelings. If I want to be enlightened, then I have to get rid of this pain. But it's here. So to judge it, to label it as bad, to resist it, doesn't make it go away. Maybe it buries it. So it starts to, what's the word? Marinate, fester, right? Maybe a little seed of anger starts to turn into a tree of anger because we keep pushing it down. Or maybe that fear that we didn't even realize was fear, but we keep pushing it away because it's uncomfortable, starts to turn into a hurricane rather than a cloud. It seems counterintuitive to welcome the discomfort, to welcome the pain, to welcome the things that we don't want to feel or face. But it is in that welcoming that it has space to exist. And when we give something space to exist, it finds its natural alignment and harmony. And that seems a little too general because there are specific situations. But we can just take this with us in this sacred space of community. It is not the rejection of something, the judging it, the trying to fix it that makes it get better, that makes it go away. It is when I welcome my full self just as I am that spontaneous healing and peace arises from me. Not from the outside, from me. So, again, a very, very warm welcome in this beautiful space that we create as community. And each one of you, your presence, your specific energetic signature, you are part of the puzzle that makes this community what it is. Even if you never even have a conversation with other people in this community, your energetic signature and presence is creating part of the beauty of the whole. So thank you all. Thank you for being here in this space together. I see that Nicole shared, it is most dark before the dawn breaks. Yes. And it's dark often, and the dawn always breaks. Sometimes it's dark for longer than we'd like it to be, but the dawn always comes. We could even think about it in, we're using this nice term or a phrase that refers to nature, but for many of us, when we're in a period that feels dark, we just resist it, right? Oh, this is bad. This is wrong. I don't want to feel this way. What's wrong with me? I need therapy. I need someone to heal me. I don't know what to do. I feel so lost. We go through these natural cycles just the way creation does. This planet goes through this cycle, the dark side and the light side, as it's passing in space, moving in space, yes? And we have these same cycles. I see that Andy's sharing. I have my ex girlfriend living with me until she can find a place. She's upset and driving me crazy from the time I wake up until I sleep. I'm locked in a room in my house. All right. So, you guys ready to do the work today? Andy, you ready, my love? This is it. Yeah? No better time than now. No better time than now. All right. So, here we go. I'm going to stand up and we're going to start today with the centering technique. If you're able to stand, I invite you to stand with me. If you're not able to move your body at all, you can always engage in this practice by visualizing it. We have powerful experiences just by visualizing things. So we're going to stand up if you can. I think you should still be able to hear me. My funny little shorts are going to be blowing in the fan. I'll turn it a little bit. So we stand with the hands at the heart. Yes. Oh, I guess for those of you who don't have the widescreen, apologies. You're probably looking at like this part of my body, but you can just follow along with my words. Yes. So we stand with the hands at the heart. Feel like there's a thread in the top of your head, lengthening the spine up toward the sky. Have your feet hip distance apart, little bend in your knees. We'll move into the centering technique. Inhale, reach your right arm all the way up. The left hand comes down by the navel with the fingers pointing up. And then exhale as slowly as you can, all the way back to the heart. Really take your time. Inhale the left arm all the way up. The right hand comes down. Reach that top arm up, open the chest. Exhale slowly all the way back to the heart. Really take your time. We'll do it one more time on the right side, reaching up. Inhale, open, breathe deeply. Exhale as slowly as you can, all the way back to the heart. Just pause here and breathe deeply. Relax your arms down. Take your feet a little wider, so maybe the knees are kind of moving the same direction as the toes. A little bend in the knees here. Have a little bit of a pulse here. Of course, only if this works for your body. I know some of you can't move your bodies at all, so again, you can visualize. And if you can, just be really mindful of whatever's happening in your body. Yes. So a little bend in the knees. Just shrug your shoulders a little bit. Why are we moving the body, my friends? Why are we consciously breathing and moving the body? Because when we are stuck in emotional resistance, when we are stuck in mental loops, when we are stuck in patterns of behavior that we feel we can't get out of, we can start by moving the body or just using the breath if moving isn't possible to start to shift things to make more possibility for new pathways in the brain to be created or to be activated. Okay, relax your arms, just shake out your hands a little bit. Little bend in the knees still here. Yes, let's release any rigidity. Oh, great. And now we're just going to twist the upper body. So we're going to twist the upper body. Let your arms swing a little bit. The knees are still bent. Twist. And start to twist in a way that your arms kind of naturally fling from side to side. The arms are relaxed, really nice and relaxed. So we're letting the momentum swing the arms. And then start to swing them. Excuse me, not swing them, because again, this is natural momentum. Start to move your hips side to side in such a way that maybe your arms start to reach all the way around, tapping the back side of the body. So now we're moving into a little bit of kidney chi activation here. This is gentle. And if it's not looking like my body, don't worry about it. Use your breath, breathe deeply. Relax your shoulders, relax your face. And let's take some exhales through the mouth. Inhale. Inhale. One more like this. Inhale. Great. Bend the knees, shake it out. Beautiful. One last thing before we come back to our seat and focus a little more on our breathing. Let your belly be nice and soft. So as much as you can, let the belly be relaxed. My little trunks flying open here. And we're going to let the hands be soft. So we're kind of creating this kind of a movement with the hands. Yes, nice relaxed hands. And we're going to be tapping the abdominal region here. Nice firm tapping on the abdominal region. So lower abdominal tap. Full palm, fingers, breathe and exhale through the mouth. Really tapping it. Let's start to move this energy. Now, if you're feeling some anger today, we're going to bring this a little bit higher into more of the liver region here. So more kind of underneath the rib cage, just the bottom of the rib cage here, and just below that tapping. Breathe deeply. Make sure you're breathing fully. Exhale through the mouth. Right, great. Take the hands and rub circles on the belly. And we're going to move in a clockwise direction. So you're going down the left, across, up the right. Down the left, across, up the right. So we're moving in the same direction as the colon. Breathe deeply. Great. And then our final movement here, you're welcome to stand or sit, but I'll come sit for those of you who don't have that widescreen version, that widescreen view. Hands on the heart. Rub some slow, gentle circles over the heart. Soften your jaw, your lips. Beautiful. And then just shake it out a little in your hands. Close your eyes and sit still for a moment. Breathe deeply. Feel what's happening in the body. You're welcome to come to a seat if you haven't already. What's happening inside? And rather than judging or trying to change anything, just notice your body. Scan your awareness from your head all the way down to your feet. And I invite you, if you find anything undesirable or unpleasant or something that you're resisting, can you say something kind to yourself? Take a breath and then continue to move your awareness down toward your feet. Maybe there's pain or discomfort or something you're judging. Offer kindness, take a breath, and move down. Beautiful. Thank you. How does that feel? Center, to breathe consciously, to move some energy, to move the body. What do you notice inside after just a few minutes of this? Mm, wonderful. Jen shares calm. And Antoinette, I see your question. We'll come to that in a little bit. It's a great question. Thank you. What is your experience within yourself? And by the way, there's no right answer here. There's no one way to have an experience. Jeanette shared center. Andy shared, thank you. That happened right before you started. I feel so, so much better. Oh, beautiful. More than words can say. Beautiful, my love. And we're just getting started. Don't go anywhere. All right, lovely. Anami shared that felt so delicious. I very much enjoyed this practice. Thank you for introducing us to it. Beautiful. Beautiful. And we used a couple of different techniques. The first was the centering technique. Yes, this ancient yogic technique to bring all of the subtle bodies and energetic systems into alignment. And then we started to do some tapping, which is rooted in Qigong, Tai Chi, powerful yet simple movements to move energy in the physicality. All right, so let's go deeper. Yes. Some of you may have seen that it was a treat yesterday. The meditation I have here on the app of Brahmari Pranayam or bee breath. The meditation I think is labeled anxiety relief breathing technique. That was on the homepage yesterday. So I know many people got turned on to this really powerful technique yesterday. And maybe some of you are here for the first time because of that experience. So warm welcome. So we're going to move into this technique. It's a very powerful technique. It's fantastic for alleviating feelings of anxiety, depression. It can help to bring us into greater emotional balance and harmony. It helps to activate the parasympathetic nervous system. So rather than being in that stress response of fight or flight, it brings us into the relaxation response, rest and digest. Innumerable benefits. This is a humming breathing technique. Now, we all have different ways that we've trained our bodies and our lungs. So, the emphasis of this breathing technique is on long exhalations while we make a humming sound. Your exhalation may not be as long as mine, they may be longer. However long you exhale, that's totally fine. You may find that if your exhale is much shorter than mine, that the more you practice this, the longer it naturally becomes. But that can take time. You might have to be, you not have to, but it might be an opportunity to work on your lung capacity, which of course will work on feeling more relaxed in general throughout the day. The more deeply we're breathing, yes. So we do not usually, when we practice this technique together, we don't usually do the full practice because we just focus on the breathing. But today, for anyone who's able to move their bodies, we're going to use the mudras today, which are these hand gestures that allow us to move deeper into the experience. So I'm going to talk us through it first, and then we'll move into a couple of rounds together. And then, Antoinette, we will come back to your question after we have some time to move a little more deeply into this experience together. What's with the pinky thing? How much of that is conditioned? Like we see people with the pinky thing, but how much of it is because the pinky is just kind of unnecessary sometimes, right? All right. So this breathing technique again is called Brahmari Pranayam. It translates to bee breath. It is a yogic breathing technique. If you have just eaten, this might feel a little uncomfortable, but it's not necessarily contraindicated. So, choose to engage in this as you wish. If it's uncomfortable to do this, don't do it. You can just focus on breathing in a slow and deep, relaxed manner. If you're sitting in a chair, I invite you to have both feet flat on the floor. If you're cross-legged, then you're welcome to remain cross-legged if you wish. And of course, if you're in a wheelchair, and just navigate your body as it is, yes? So for the mudras, we're going to be gently closing off the other two of the other main senses, sensory experiences, so we can go deeper into this infinite stillness within us. So to do this, we take the thumbs to gently cover the ears. So we kind of press in the tragus here. So we gently cover the ears. Don't do it yet. You won't be able to hear me. So we cover the ears, and then we can allow these fingers to gently cover the eyes. So as you wish, you can take the index finger and the middle finger, and we're just gently pressing in on the eyes. You don't have to press so that it's uncomfortable, but just kind of closing the sensory experience here. And the other fingers can just rest on the face. So to move into the breathing itself, we take a deep, full breath in, really fill the belly and the chest so we find that full lung capacity. And then when we exhale, we make a humming sound. Now I have this noise canceling software, so you might not be able to hear my whole hum. So just keep this in mind. When you're humming, that last part of the hum, when you're really kind of gently pressing the air out, will start to sound kind of like a buzzing bee. Like, I don't know if you can hear this, like a kind of sound. It's kind of like a funny syncopated sound rather than a solid sound. It kind of gets a little wobbly inside. And that lets us know we're kind of nearing the end. Now, for some of us, especially if we're not used to this kind of deep breathing technique, we'll find that we stop humming very early on, and then we exhale after. So it will be like this. The idea here is we follow the out breath with the hum. So as long as there is out breath, we are humming. And you might even feel like you're kind of drawing the abdomen in, which is where the diaphragm is right here. Yes, it's drawing things in to help press the air out. So you hum until all of the air has been expelled, and then we take another deep breath in. And that's it. Yes. If you wish to go into the full technique, we gently touch the roof of the mouth just behind the upper teeth with the tongue right here. Just gently. This helps to relax the jaw, and it also helps to create this energetic connection. So the energy that's moving up the central channel moves up into the brain and back down the spine. Or maybe it's the other way. Yes, but it creates this loop of energy. And lastly, I know this is a lot. Feel free to just focus on the breathing. You can leave the rest out if you wish. Lastly, with the eyes closed, the gaze rolls up between the eyebrows to the Ajna chakra, the first eye. So again, we have our mudra, if you wish. And again, you're welcome to just focus on humming and breathing. You don't need to think about anything else if it's too much. Thumbs cover the ears, fingers gently press on the eyes, hands are relaxed. You take a deep breath in. The tongue is gently touching the roof of the mouth just behind the upper teeth. The gaze is rolled up between the eyebrows. And then we hum until all of the breath has been expelled. We will move into this 6 times for the first round. And then we'll move into a second round to go even deeper. You don't need to count. I will let you know when it's time to complete. And if you have shorter breaths than mine, you might end up doing a couple extra rounds, and that's okay. Again, just be with your body, be with your experience. You ready to go? Yes? So let's sit nice and tall. Roll the shoulders up and back. Chin is slightly tucked so the energy can move freely up and down the spine. Have your thumbs ready, placed over your ears. And then your fingers can gently cover the eyes. And when you're ready to begin, you can close off the sound in your ears and gently press the eyes. We'll start by taking a deep breath in and then humming until all of the air has been expelled. So let's take a deep, full breath in, slow breath in to begin. Go beyond the mind. Exhale long. One more. Relax the hands and be very still. Breathe naturally. Be still. Find the place inside where there is even just a little stillness and notice what that feels like. Take a deep breath in and out. And we'll move into one more round. This time, we'll move into 10 breaths. Again, you don't need to count. If your exhalations are shorter than mine, that's okay. You may end up just doing a couple of extra rounds. Don't worry about what you're supposed to be feeling or doing it perfectly. Just be with your experience. If this is new to you, that's what learning is all about: curiosity, learning, practice. So just be open, be curious. Again, you're welcome to use the mudra or not. If you're not using the mudra, you can just have the hands relaxed in the lap. And we'll move into 10 rounds and then we'll spend a couple of minutes in silence, stillness and silence. So let us prepare the body, sit tall. Thumbs are prepared to close off the ears, and fingers are over the eyes, gently pressing. Tongue gently touches the roof of the mouth behind the upper teeth. The gaze rolls up between the brows, the Ajna chakra. The lips are gently touching, the jaws relaxed. Again, hum until all of the air has been expelled. Deep breath in to begin. Bring more energy into the breath, more power into the breath. Breathe deeply. One more. Mm. Be very still. Very slowly relax the arms and be still. The body is relaxed. And to deepen the breath. And very gracefully, slowly begin to move your body. Feel your feet on the earth. Feel the aliveness of the space all around you, the air moving across your skin. Whenever you feel ready, open the eyes. Let's have our little check in. You're welcome to share more if you wish. Otherwise, if you feel to, just share the two words that best describe your inner experience right now. There's no right answer here. There's no way you're supposed to feel. However, your experience is just right. So go ahead and share the two words that best describe your inner world right now. And I see Shirley shared that the hum created a singing bowl inside of her head. Jeanette shared my sense of sound was heightened sweetly. We have calm and energized, centered, grateful, mature loneliness, calmly alert, flowing, calm, expectant. Thank you for sharing. Hmm. Antoinette, are you still here? Thank you, Jeanette. As a reminder, this is called Brahmari Pranayam or bee breath. We have some more words coming in: nourishing, harmony, rested, relaxed. Lovely. Great. Hmm. Thank you. My two words are free and light. And my third word is grateful. Jeanette shared, I have practiced with your recording. It helped immensely. Wonderful, love. Yeah, for anyone who missed it, I do have this breathing technique recorded on the app. It's the label of the meditation is called Anxiety Relief Breathing Technique. Anami shared, I feel I can go to sleep now, which is often something I strive for. Wonderful. Yeah, again, this technique, among other benefits, it brings us into the rest and digest response, the parasympathetic nervous system response, where we naturally feel more relaxed. And if the mudras and all of the different cues were just kind of too much for your mind, you can just focus on the humming breathing. Just focus on that, and it will guide you into a more relaxed state. Cynthia is sharing, with the eyes focused on the upper center of the forehead, I saw a deep violet purple that moved into more of a white color. Beautiful. That's beautiful. Some of you may know that often this chakra, this energetic center here, the Ajna chakra, is usually depicted with kind of like an indigo violet light. And then of course the crown chakra is usually depicted with kind of like a crystalline light energy. So that's beautiful. Beautiful. Well, it doesn't look like Antoinette is still here. Anything anyone wishes to share as we start to move into the completion of our satsang for today? How was this for you to have these different experiences with our bodies, with our breath? Andy, how are you feeling, my love? Are you feeling a little more um, like you have a little more in here of what you need to navigate the challenges that you're inside of right now? And this it can be a question for anyone who's feeling challenged right now. Do you feel a little more at home in yourself or a little more able to meet those difficulties? And if not, my friends, it's okay, It's okay. Sometimes we're just in the stirring, Sometimes we're just in the moment that feels dark or challenging or painful. And it just, we want it to go away like that. Oh, well, I meditated, it should go away, right? Oh, I did my self-love affirmations, it should go away. It doesn't work that way. Sometimes it does. Like if we're in a pattern or if we're in a habit that keeps us in suffering, sometimes the meditations or the movement or the different things will create that instantaneous shift because we're just in a pattern that, it's easier to come out of when we use those tools. But sometimes it's because something else is stirring inside, right? Sometimes we need to feel that pain that's coming up. Sometimes it's more of a process of what's happening internally. Or maybe there isn't something that's happening in our lives that makes us feel a certain way, but our inner world is just in one of those cycles of pain, in one of those cycles of feeling disconnected or lost or distressed. So we just go through these cycles. So, how can we be graceful with ourselves? How can we be gracious with ourselves? How can we be loving? How can we be compassionate? And for anyone who hasn't listened to the meditation I have here on the app, the self-soothing practice, it can be really helpful in these times when you just don't know what to do with the pain or that feeling of darkness that's in there. It can be really helpful to find a way to healthily meet ourselves. Yes. Uh, oh, Gary, if you're not already part of our group, Love Heals all are welcome in that group, of course. It's a group here on the app called Love Heals All. And Gary, if you're not already part of that, go ahead and join there, and I'll post where you can watch the replay of this. Yes, surely. And Andy, I see. Thank you, sweetheart, for your donations. Thank you all for your donations. Maybe your donation was an expression of what you were ready to share, and that's okay. I'm grateful for your donation, and it's okay if you don't feel like sharing, is what I mean by that. Thank you for being here. Oh, I was thinking of you, Valerie. You're in my awareness and in my heart. Again, friends, if you're not part of our group, come join our group, and there's usually a way to catch things that if you've missed them. The group is called Love Heals All. Judy's asking, can you address the question about how to deal with a sister who is very critical toward me and I don't know why? Oh, yes. All right. We just have a few minutes. This is a big topic, yeah? And we all navigate it. Unless you're in an enlightened state and you don't take anything personally, we all navigate it. Beautiful, Nicole. Come join the group. You'll love it. Sweet, sweet, sweet souls just like you. So the question is, how do you deal with it's interesting too how we word these questions. Like Judy, your wording of it is how to deal with the sister who's very critical toward me and I don't know why, right? So sometimes it's interesting to see how we might not even be aware of our language, but sometimes if we start to analyze our language or just become aware of our language, we'll recognize it's showing us kind of a deeper expression of what's really going on inside, how we're processing something, how we're interpreting something, because it's all interpretation. The world is the world, how I experience it is my interpretation. So in your question, you're saying, how do I deal with my sister, right? But of course, the deeper question that I think is available for each of us to ask is, how do I navigate what comes up inside of me when someone is critical with me? And you added on to that part, you said, and I don't know why she's critical with me. I don't know why she's so critical. Sometimes the why isn't even necessary in our lives. Sometimes when we are going through a challenging situation or something's happening that we don't like, our mind will say, why? Why is this happening? Why are they doing this? Why are they being this way? Why? But sometimes that why just keeps us in a never-ending loop, looking for a way out of pain. So, how do we deal with, or how do we navigate when we feel criticized by someone? First thing, I mean, there are many things, and not necessarily in this particular order, but I'll just share with you a few of my key things because we won't go into this fully today, but I'll just share a few key things. The first thing that I might do is I might just place my hands on my heart and say, I love you. I'm sorry you're hurting. If someone's critical to me, what happens? If I'm not in a really clear place within myself, I get triggered. Someone says something about me, I don't like it. I want everyone to like me. We're all like little 4-year-olds. We just want people to like us. Not all of us actually. This is definitely one of my things. I'm like a little kid inside. I'm like, can't we just be friends? I just want to be friends. Can't we all get along? And then if someone doesn't like me, I'm like, oh no, they don't like me and we can't be friends. But there's that little one inside who just desires that. But not everyone has that pattern. Not in the same way. But deep down, we all just want that love and connection and harmony. So, anyway, if I recognize that I'm feeling hurt because someone is being critical of me, one of the first things I might do is be kind with myself and just acknowledge it. Oh, wow. Yeah, that hurts. That hurts. I'm sorry you're hurting. I'm sorry you got your feelings so hurt. I'm sorry you don't like this. Just acknowledge myself. This is something we can do with any trigger that comes up in our lives. Maybe it's not a tender feeling. Maybe you feel rageful. I'm so sorry you're just carrying all of this rage, and I'm right here with you. I'm right here with you in this rage. I'm not going to judge you for it. Takes work for most of us, but it's possible. So, kindness. Many of you have heard me share this story. There was a time when I was part of this like youth teacher group, and I was one of the youth teachers, and there were people there who were just part of the group, not the teachers, right? And we were all the youth teachers were sharing something, and I shared something, and after I finished saying it, it was clear to me that the other youth teachers weren't feeling the same way, and that I was coming from an energy. I won't go, I could share more about this. This is actually a great topic to cover sometime. But I was coming from more of an energy of trying to speak in a way that I thought of how I thought I was supposed to be as a teacher. There was more of a sense of arrogance and less of a sense of actually connecting with the other people because I was doing what I thought I was supposed to do to be a teacher, right? And I remember after the experience, I just felt so much shame. I just felt so like, ugh, I felt like a sense of shame. And I also felt like a little defensiveness in my mind, right? And I was walking back to my hotel room at this event where I was. And I just had this really clear voice come into my mind that said, can you love yourself even when others are judging you? Can you love yourself even when others are judging you? Can you accept yourself even when others are judging you? Can you accept yourself even when others are judging you? And this moment turned out to be a profound teaching moment for my whole life, because what I really started to understand was the intensity of the pain that I felt when someone criticized me had more to do with the criticism I held about myself than it did about anything they said or felt. When someone criticizes me and it really triggers me, it's showing me something inside of myself, some place where I'm not loving myself, some place where I feel insecure, some place where I don't feel worthy, some place where I don't feel good enough. It's showing me, if I feel triggered, it's showing me a place inside that is feeling dependent on another person's approval of me because I'm not approving of myself. If I feel upset when someone criticizes me, it might be showing me that I agree with what they're criticizing me about. And I haven't been courageous enough to look at that and face that. It's all about me, though. The trigger is coming from within me. And there is also this element of this little one inside of me, this little one who just wants peace and harmony and feels sad if there isn't some experience of harmony. But we could even go deeper inside of that and say, if I'm in total harmony with myself, if I'm loving that little one inside of me, if I'm holding that little one inside of me, if I'm caring for that little one inside of me, then she's okay because she's within my loving embrace. It's when I'm judging her that she becomes dependent on someone else maintaining the sense of harmony. Is this making sense, Judy, what I'm sharing here so far? Is it resonating with anyone here? Can you start to see how if you're feeling triggered by someone else's criticism of you, it might be a deeper reflection of all of the judgments and criticisms and lack of feeling worthy that you're holding about yourself? Okay. Okay, great. Thanks for sharing, friends. Wonderful. So here's the other piece. And again, not necessarily in this order, not necessarily in this order, but the third piece that is always important for me in my healing process with others, absolutely, is the piece about considering what is happening in the other. What pain is the other person in that's causing them to act the way they're acting? What fear is arising in that person that's causing them to act the way they're acting? What internal voice of judgment that they carry about themselves is coming out in their words toward me? And sometimes it's not that the other person is in a lot of pain. Sometimes the other person is in a very clear space and they're offering something very practical for me to look at inside of myself. Right? It's not like always the other person is in pain and they're a bad guy, not at all. And they're not a bad guy anyway, but you know what I mean? That kind of experience of like, oh, this person said that hurtful thing because they're in pain. Sometimes that's the case. Sometimes they're seeing something clearly I can't see. And when I look at that thing that they are showing me, I don't like it. I'm not that kind of person. I'm not controlling. I'm not arrogant. I'm not dismissive, whatever it is, right? We don't like to look at those things. Because when we face the idea that we are not some version of perfection, it immediately brings up beliefs, thoughts, and feelings of being unworthy and not good enough. And it's misinformation, it's old conditioning, but that's what it brings up for many of us. If I'm not perfect, I mean, feel this with me, beloveds, because I know so many of us, like, this is like a kind of gut wrenching reality when we face it inside. If I'm not perfect, then I must not be worthy. And so we're pushing ourselves to be perfect. And none of us will be perfect in the way that we think we're supposed to. Shirley shared, what if it is part of you that is judging you? Yeah, well, it is. It's exactly that. Shirley is referencing the story that I shared about when I was walking back to my hotel room. That's exactly what it was. And maybe you kind of could see that in my further illustration. The reason I was in so much pain, I had that experience, right? I said something that I wasn't in alignment with my soul. I was being a little arrogant, trying to be liked or be seen a certain way. I felt the shame. I felt judged by others. But what was really going on? Okay, great. What was really going on is that I was judging myself for not being perfect. Shit, I still judge myself for not being perfect. Excuse my language. I shouldn't say I. Sometimes the personality, the ego consciousness is still functioning from that place. And I can be aware of it and I can be compassionate with it. It's not always there, but it still pops up. So I still get to work with that. But it's a pattern. It's a pattern, yes. It's not who we are. It's a pattern. And any pattern, any habit can be undone. Judy's asking if I have a book recommendation. Unfortunately, I don't. I don't have a book recommendation on this. Let me just think. Is there anything? Um, no, I don't. I'm sorry, my love. I'm sure you can find some good stuff on it, though. I mean, I would really, if you were to want to look up a book, you could search something like, self compassion and feeling criticized by others. Google something like that and see if you can find maybe some material that has that combination. Because the self compassion part is really important here. We can do all this judging in the mind and analyzing in the mind and justification in the mind, and it will just keep us in a loop of suffering. So bringing in the self-compassion piece as we look deeper is really that access point to tenderness and sweetness and peacefulness and freedom. Yeah, Nicole is sharing the ego is protecting us from that wound. Um, I I'm not sure that that's how I experience it. The ego is usually the consciousness that is keeping us in the wound. And it gets very tricky. It's very tricky. If anyone's kind of newer to the the teachings that I share, the background that I come from, it's not that the ego is a bad guy. We're not trying to kill the ego. We're not trying to um, what does it say? I can't remember what the word is. But we're not trying to get the ego to go away. Rather than getting rid of the ego, we bring love into the ego. We enlighten the ego consciousness. It's not about getting rid of it or it being bad. It's there. It serves us well. Yes. It just is function out of old paradigm. The illusions, one way to think about the ego is that its primary function is to maintain the illusion of separateness. So, however, it can maintain that illusion, it does. Because as long as we have the experience that we're separate from one another, that we're separate from life, that we're separate from source, the ego gets to thrive. Yeah, baby, I exist. I'm the ego and I exist. Yeah, yeah, right? But the moment that we merge, that we dissolve into that oneness, there's only one. So the ego's like, all right, how do we keep them in this illusion of separateness? My pain, my journey, my this, my that. It all is for that sake of experience of individuality. And there's nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong. It's beautiful. It's part of this experience. And maybe that's your experience. I'm not also, Nicole, I'm not here to say that that's not your experience. Just sharing that that wasn't my experience. Maybe very well be yours, yes. Cynthia saying, such comforting truth for me today. Thank you for your generous sharing of these truths. The truth will set you free. Yeah, beautiful. And I'm going to address Shirley's question and then we'll come to a close. So, Shirley, nice long time together today. Yes, it's always nice when I don't. I mean, I love it when I have a client or get to work with someone one on one right after our sessions because I love what I do. But it's also really nice when I don't have a session booked right after so we can have more time to be here. It's a treat. Okay, so Shirley, what part has a bit of all parts? Which part has a bit of all parts? Forgive me, my love. I don't understand. Feel free to clarify for me. Great, Nicole. I'm glad that resonated. So we'll just clarify this and then we'll come to a close. Thank you all so much. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for your donations. Thank you for your love. Thank you for your presence. Come join us in our group, Love Heals All. I lead live sessions on the app each week. One session like this, and then one session of yoga asana, which is what most people consider yoga, the physical practice of yoga, on Fridays, 3 p.m. Eastern for the time being. So come join us however you wish. And you can always check I have a website listed on my profile page here on the app. If you'd like to stay connected, feel free to visit that. And Shirley, I'm not seeing anything else coming through. So I guess okay. Well, which part has a bit of all the parts? Every part. There's no parts. As I've shared before, in my perspective, for the sake of these teachings of awakening and spirituality, or whatever they are, we speak about things as being separate for the sake of understanding, for the sake of awareness. But there's only one. It's all one. Everything exists within the one. All parts are in the one. How beautiful is that? How precious is that? Everything in your life experience is all part of the sacredness of one. If you have any clarification in your mind about what that is for you, feel free to send me a message. I'm still not getting it, but happy to work with you on that if we can find the words, yes, that make my brain catch where you are. Thank you, beloveds. All my love back to you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You are loved beyond measure. You are love itself. And there's nothing missing from within you. Nothing. There's nothing missing. What if there wasn't even anything missing from your life? What if you felt right now in this moment with exactly the way things are, that nothing was missing? What if you could taste that nothing was missing? Waves of love to you. Eternal light of the source that you are.